Hello, we're Philippe, Anicia and little Odin, a family restoring an old farm in the French countryside. This week we're rewinding a little to those early spring days when the trees were just beginning to bud and the mornings still carried a chill. Still, this is the kind of slow, steady work we really value, the small but important tasks that gently shape the season ahead. Seeds go into the soil, tools get cleaned and prepped, the yard gets a bit of extra attention as we can quite literally see the grass growing day by day. If you saw last week's video, you know Philippe has begun restoring our old dumper. And once it's back in full working order, it'll finally let us fire up two of the biggest projects on our list: rebuilding the driveway and continuing the excavation behind the barn. Gone will be the days of hauling soil back and forth with the wheelbarrow. These two projects are key this season because, honestly, we're desperate to be out of the mud by next winter. We're also preparing to move the vegetable garden to a better spot with way more sunlight, and while you've seen the tractor driving in our fields, there's still work to do. It needs a few more parts and a bit of extra attention to make it run smoothly and safely. Big things are coming, but first let's lay the groundwork that will make our lives easier for the season ahead.
So this is a good way to rust out your deck. This is a perfect example. Luckily it's not rusted out yet, but it is rusting. So
Dat is van Odin, ja. Ah, dank u Odin. Eten! Ja, doe maar plat drukken. Dank u Odin. Ja, dankjewel.
Papa eten.
as I predicted, the belt snapped. So let's clean it all up. I'm gonna order new belts. Take these blades off because they are done. I will sharpen them one more time and keep them as a reserve, but they are done. Nu samenknippen. Ik ga weer gat doen, want het is echt stoomde. Oké.
Odin was helping me out with filling the little pots with compost, but now he's taking a nap. So I'm going to continue. I've had quite some things planted already. I have different varieties of tomatoes, peppers, jalapeno for example, long peppers, soft Spanish peppers. So I'm going to continue with, what do I have here, with corn, cucumber, what else? apples, melon. So still a lot to do.
Okay. Oh, la, 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 la. How are we gonna do this with those little flying beasts over there? They will for sure sting me again if I go too close. But I don't have much choice. Clean this. I think I will have to eradicate them before that nest becomes too big. It was there last year as well under the solar panels. I didn't know I was cleaning over there and they stung me. And Odin is also around here, which he is allowed with us, but it's not a good location for a wasp nest. There's never a good location, but some locations I don't mind. It's just me passing there and they're not always aggressive. But there... Okay, let's see. Might as well get it on camera if I get stuck. Ah. Don't know if you can see it, but they're circling with two at the edge of the solar panel. They came out. Okay, Mr. Wasp, that's good for now. I'm gonna leave you alone for now. If anyone has some idea how to get those two wasps away from the solar panels without killing them, I would greatly appreciate it. Voila, that's sturdy enough. Up. One of those crazy electricians who picks up when I strip my wires. Don't just chuck them everywhere. Okay, it's that time of the year again, where we get out the mowing robots. And I'm saying robots because we are working together with Mammotion again this year. I'm quite happy with that. We are happy with our products and they apparently are happy with us. So we will not be testing just one of their robots, we'll be testing 3 of them, from big to small. The first one we're gonna start with is the big one, almost identical to this, with a few important modifications or improvements. So what have I done? Yeah, you saw me put up the post with electricity over here, because as you can see with the driveway being fully open and the robots were over there, that's a no-go anymore, so I'm gonna put them here. Okay, this is it. Luba 2 all-wheel drive series. They kept the design the same, which doesn't surprise me. It works, so why bother changing the exterior?
After installing the garage, the next step is setting up the RTK station. That's what gives the Luba 2 precise GPS-like accuracy, so it knows exactly where it is in your garden. But with the new iNavi system, if you have a good cellular reception, the Luba 2 can navigate without the RTK entirely. That also means no need for perimeter wires, which makes the setup way faster. Then it's just a matter of inserting the security key, charging up the Luba 2 and using that time to set up the app. Adding the mower is straightforward. The app walks you through the process step by step.
Alright, he is connected, so I'll be setting up a map for him soon. And then I should have a little bit less yard work to do during spring, summer, autumn.
As Philippe mentioned, the next step is mapping your yard. That basically means driving the Luba 2 around the edges of your lawn so it can learn the boundaries. In our case, it's quite a large area to cover, but that just gives us more time to enjoy the early spring scenery with the first leaves and flowers starting to appear. And since the Luba 2 is all-wheel drive, it handles uneven ground and slopes effortlessly. Perfect for bigger or trickier gardens like this one. Like last year's Luba 1, you can still create no-go zones, areas the robot should avoid, but with the upgraded software on the Luba 2, it's gotten a lot smarter, so no-go zones aren't always necessary. That said, knowing Philippe and his OCD for a perfectly optimized layout, I'm sure he'll want to define everything precisely. Let's just see how it plays out.
The map is done. All that rests me is to make a channel from here, the second part of the yard, all the way up there to where its charging station is. That way it knows how to come down and mow this part of the yard. Okay, have a little bit time. So we drained, me and Anisha together, we drained the hydraulic pump. It was very milky and not a lot of fluid left. I don't know if you can see it, but this was the hydraulic that was in it. So milky means there was water in it. I closed it up again. Gonna refill it with the old hydraulic fuel, which isn't that old because I renewed it. But I'm working on the dumper, so instead of throwing it away, I'm gonna reuse it now to flush it in this old tractor, and then we're gonna fire it up again, which is not always easy. This old tractor doesn't like to run at the moment. Let's try not to spin too much. Let up, eh? Nice. Ja, doe maar. Alright, next up, change the oil and change the oil filter. Oh, it goes on like this. Yes, that seems to be the way. Okay, time to fill it up. The oil that I bought is especially for old tractors, especially for this one, so I didn't skimp on it. But I had to buy it in this massive container. Okay, let's fire it up. So oil is in it, hydraulic oil in it. Closed filter has been done. I checked the oil, should be good. Closed. Preheated a little bit. It's gonna be difficult to start it again, that I'm sure of. Okay, so yesterday I got the hydraulic filter out. It's underneath the seat of the tractor, and this is the cover that goes on top. It was sealed with some kind of sealant or silicone, I don't know. Oh, arts and crafts. Okay, this is it. Up. Goes on like this. And this way it is closed, and hopefully when I open it up again I can reuse this gasket. Ah, I don't like this. Okay, next up, open up this bowl. This is the water separator, but I'm gonna open it anyways. Clean it out, and then we have a fuel filter which goes up here. So then all filters should have been changed, all oil. So it should be a little bit better. The hydraulics are already better, so. Oh la 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 la! Oh yeah. So just to give you an idea why I clean it out. So this is what you get. Oh no, is this metal? It's a little metal filter in there, fully blocked, fully blocked. Okay, good. It's good to find these things because hopefully this is the reason why it is starting so badly. Maybe it's not getting enough fuel.
With the metal filter from the water separator cleaned and reinstalled, it was time to move on to the fuel filter.
Okay, this one does not look too bad.
That one got the same treatment, cleaned and put back in place. Then came the moment to get some fuel flowing again. First, the water separator started to fill, followed by the fuel filter rising as expected. With all that sorted, we hoped the tractor's less than smooth performance wasn't down to any of these filters. They'd all been cleaned, checked and reassembled. So now it was time to fire it up again and see how it would run this time.
There's one guy I follow on YouTube, well, multiple. It's called Diesel Creek. And every time he starts, he goes like, contact. Let's see if it gives me good luck. So this old machine, even back in the day, if you read the manual, you had to preheat the glow plugs for a minute. So it was always a bad starter. Contact.
Now it was time to replace the seat. The old one had seen better days, so Philippe decided to swap it with the chair from the dumper, which was due to a new one anyway. With this new seat in place, he drove the tractor over to the other side of the property where it would soon be put to work mowing the area for our future vegetable garden. After ordering the parts needed to give our mower some much needed care, they finally arrived today, meaning Philippe could install them and soon enjoy the reward of a job well done.
These ones sit on here, I took them off. These ones are missing the guide pins, I'm gonna call them, for the mowing blade, so the mowing blade stays in place and doesn't tighten or over tighten itself. But what I didn't notice, you see this bearing here, and the bearing is in here, the whole housing is cracked off. So I think I will need to order some more parts. That shows how much this mower has been through. Okay. Okay, next up, the difference in blades. So I think you have the general idea why I ordered some new ones. These ones are totally done. Okay, let's see. This one spins pretty freely. This one is hitting something here. Okay. Okay. Okay, what a big difference. Thing is, sometimes you don't notice it because it gradually gets worse, worse and worse and worse. And then you suddenly put on new blades or something new, and then the difference is just night and day from when I was mowing. So now it's actually being cut instead of being torn. Okay, I couldn't I couldn't resist mowing with the new blades because it is satisfying.
Next on our spring cleanup to-do list was clearing the small wooded area where winter storms had left behind plenty of fallen branches. Scattered stones were also a concern, not ideal for any of the mowers passing through. One tree in particular was in poor shape and needed to come down before it risked falling on its own. And since the chickens love to scratch around here, leaving it was definitely not an option. There are still a few ruts in the garden from the rainy days made by the little digger. So Philippe is filling them up now because the luba that's driving on the other side of the lawn gets stuck in them. So that's not what we want.
When I make too much noise, the new chickens they always go away. It's the old ones, the anciens, they stay. They know what's gonna happen. They don't care. Okay. Okay, future me. We're a couple of weeks further, and as you can see, it's spring already. I'm gonna give you an update on the Mammotion Luba. We've been testing the newer one and the old one, how they've been performing. Alright, the handy thing about these robots is you can place them wherever you want, and then you can make channels in which they will drive towards their work area. So that's really a big plus point, especially since with all the works we have going on, the only place I could place them was here, and from here they drive automatically each to their designated area. So while the robots are driving down, just a little update on our vegetable garden. We're gonna move it from next to the house where the big tree is towards here. The reason why, you can already see it, we have loads of sun here. We had no sun over there. So with the excavator we're gonna make the vegetable rows. Just scrape off the topsoil that contains the grass, then we're gonna get compost and make beds on top.
Mama, let's go, Mama. Mama, eet.
Wat zie je?
Eet.
2.
That's me. Boo.
Here is the place where we found those burn pits, which we cleaned up a couple of videos ago. And we're gonna plant 3 birch trees to clean up the soil. 1, 2, 3. That's about it. And then see if the wildflowers from last year pop up or not. Alright, just to give you an example what our old Luba, it's the second year we have this one, is doing for us. So it's keeping everything down where we cleaned the brambles, part of the forest over here, and then it's doing a part of grass as well. And it's doing an amazing job, saving me tons of time. Because I'm working on the dumper, I'm working on the tractor. I don't have time to be mowing the grass manually, so I'm very happy. Wat is dat? We gaan naar de andere robot. Ja. So this is also the part that the old one is maintaining, and we'll go to the second part where the new one is mowing. This is the path we took with the dumper. So the right side is where the old robot is working. The left side is where the newer Luba is working. Alright, I'm gonna manually pause it and I'll show you some of the differences between the two that I've noticed. The differences, vision module has been upgraded, and what I really like is something so basic, but they've put a light in it. So when at night it has to return, it puts on a light, and that way its vision module actually works at night, so it can see things. Visually, it's orange side skirts, black wheels, that's a little bit the difference between the other one, but for the main part it looks the same. And if we turn it around, it now has 6 blades per disc, and the old one only has 4 blades per disc. And what I've noticed, and I looked it up, is the motors have been upgraded, so it can actually handle tougher grass and tougher terrain. The biggest upgrade of them all, compared to the old one, is called the iNavi service. What that means is you don't need an RTK station anymore. So the only thing you need is 4G coverage, and then this will control your GPS. So there's no more wires, no more setup. You just need to place your charger, your robot, and connect the iNavi service, and you can make your map, and the robot will drive if you have cellular connection. You need cellular connection. If you don't have that, you have to revert back to the old system with the RTK station, the little orb. So that's the biggest difference, because that makes the setup a lot easier. En hoe dan? Mwah.
Papa, mijn robot.
Mijn robot, we gaan naar mijn hang steken. Start.
Continue working.
Continue working so Papa and Odin can sleep. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Alright, let's go to the fruit trees we planted.
Papa, this. Da.
Ja, papaatje zal eens keer kijken wat dat is. These are Anisha her fruit trees. I take zero credit for it because she planted them and she protected them. And they're doing really great, as you can see. This is a mulberry already in leaves. So very nice. Let's go to the second one. Which one is this, Anisha?
Cherry, white cherry.
White cherry, also doing great. Next one. Which one is this?
It's one of the apple varieties.
One of the apple varieties. A Brayburn.
I think it's a cooking apple, but I'm not
Cooking
sure.
apple, okay.
Not sure.
Next one. You don't know?
Forgot.
Bye-bye.
It's a Fuji.
Bye-bye.
Eating apple.
Eating apple?
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
And this one?
Bye-bye.
Also an apple.
Also an apple.
Elscoop or something?
Belle de Boscoop.
Yeah, Belle de Boscoop. Ah, that's the
Cooking
apple. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the cooking apple.
Alright, so you can see the 5 fruit trees, they're doing really well. Very happy with that. Let's go up. Come on in.
Mama. Papa, look. Papa.
A little update, because a couple of weeks ago I told you guys I would test out the difference between mapping the no-go zones or not doing it. So the site with the old robot, I mapped every tree. I told it where everything was, like last year, and it did it perfectly. This site I only did the boundary, and all the rest, all the trees and everything, I didn't tell it anything, so it had to do it all by itself. It did it, that's for sure, it mowed it. But for me, I like it more, or I think it's performing better if you make your map as accurate as I've always done it. So I go around and I tell it where every tree is, I tell it where the gully is, I tell it where the caravan is, and it works way better that way. Because then it makes a logical map and it's done in no time, and there's not many spats that get left over. So your map is everything. Oh, daar gaat er maar uit gaan doen. Hey, go!
Ja, ik heb het.
So Odin doesn't like the chickens being in his sandbox, but they're actually helping him out because there's an ant nest underneath it, I think. So they're actually eating the ants out. Right, I'm here at the original tractor. What I am missing on the tractor with the mowing attachment on the back is you have these things. And here you can see it doesn't sway, that's because of these sidebars. So I am going to try to take these ones off and put it on the other tractor for now.
It might seem like a simple enough task, but these sidebars were seriously stuck. They're designed to keep mowing equipment steady, so it makes sense that they don't come off easily. First, Philippe gave the first one a few solid taps with the hammer. Then came the pry bar, some more hammering, and a bit of wiggling, and finally it popped loose.
This is the first one. It's all rusted, but you can see how it sways now. Up. And this is not what you want.
Then it was time to get the second one off, with more of the same, hammering, pushing, pulling, lifting up and down, trying to create just enough space between each part. In the original footage, this went on for a good 15 minutes, but after those final taps of the hammer, he was finally able to cry,
"Victory!"
Next, Philippe installed those sidebars onto the mower attachment.
This mower is not swaying anymore. The tractor and the mower are now one piece. So there's on each side there is one. What I've noticed if I drive with the tractor with this mowing attachment on the back is it is on the front wheels it is very light. So I'm gonna put some weights on the front wheels. And where can I find some weights is on the old tractor. There's no weights on this one because normally the front loader was on it. But I don't want to put on the front loader before we are sure the engine works well. Because now it's not easy to start it and I haven't really worked with it. Once it is up and running it seems fine, but I want to work it hard and maybe, because it's been sitting so long, maybe it will improve. And if I see it improves, we put the front loader back on, we take off the front weights again. But now I need them because when I'm driving uphill, I feel the tractor lifting and it's not a very nice feeling, let's put it this way. It's a little bit wet here. Oh, it's not even a little bit, it's a lot. So this one is the old tractor that we found in the fields beneath the tree. And this one we want to restore. Before anyone goes like, you're taking parts of it. Well, I took something off the back. And these are not its front wheels because it was sitting there without front wheels. So I bought these front wheels and luckily they came with the weights. So I can always, when I have two running tractors, I can always, because this one doesn't have a front loader, so it will need them back. And the other one will have a front loader, so I can always change them whenever I feel like. This is a weight. This is what I want. Right. Voila. I wonder how much these weigh. No idea. 20 kilo. 40 kilos on the front might help a little bit. Okay, done. At least this part.